I also asked David Lynch earlier on today about the links to Florian Wirtz. And again, none of us are really putting too much faith in this for a couple of reasons. One, the reason that I've always been saying, Liverpool don't really go in to sign a player when there's probably going to be a bidding war. So I can't see us getting involved in it. But then when I was speaking with David Lynch earlier on, he made some really good points as well around the fact that, do we need him? Like, let's say Mohamed Salah extends. Where do we play him? Who do we fit him in? What position who do we drop to bring in Wirtz? I just don't see the need for it, especially when, as been reported here, be it Paisley Gates and a few others, Leverkusen value him between 130 and 150 million euro. You know, I think if Liverpool are to spend that much money on players, there are other areas that we certainly could do with strengthening in before you look to the attack. I would say the attack is the one area right now where we're spoiled for riches. So for me, I don't think we need Florian Wirtz, nor do I think we're likely to see us going in from. So that was one of the things, again, we spoke about with David earlier on, but I'd love to know your take on it. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to just ask straight out in a poll, do you think we should sign him? 1 second. Right, so the question that I'm going to ask is, would you like us to sign Wirtz for around the £120 million that has been mentioned? Now, remember, this money or any money spent, if you were to do that, would be less money to spend elsewhere technically, so keep that in mind. We'd all love to sign him, but I guess I probably could have worded the question a bit better. But the poll is, would you like us to sign Wirtz for £120 million? Personally, I would say no, because I just don't see the need for it. But he is a really good player as well. We don't have a number 10. Do we not? I would argue we have a couple. We've got Dominic Szoboszlai. We've got Harvey Elliott. I think we have a couple. You could argue Jones is a 10 as well. So for me, I would say I would rather see Liverpool drop money on a central midfielder and a centre-back. Personally. But again, I just don't think there's value in it for us with what we need going forward, personally. If the question was simply, would you like him? Then yes, of course. But I just don't think it would be sensible for us to be involved in that conversation when I don't think that's an area we need to strengthen in. Now, if we lost Mo or something like that and we had a space where we could look at a number 10 or an attacking player, then maybe this conversation's a little bit different. You said, John, I mean a real number 10. What? Like, I don't know what to mean. He isn't. Like, we have 10s in our system. I don't know what you mean by a real number 10. Like, you need players that suit the system that you have. And I think you'd find a way to put Wirtz in, of course you would, but like, we do have players that can operate in that role the way Arne Slot wants them to. So I don't know what you mean by a real number 10. David said 120 million. Yes, please. Wirtz is far better than Jude too. Personally, if we were looking to spend a load of dough in that area, I would prefer, what's his name again? Jamal Musiala, if you're looking to throw that much money around. I just don't think we need Wirtz, is the honest answer at the moment. Maybe in a year, if Szoboszlai doesn't come good, different conversation. But right now, if we was to do it tomorrow, I would say no. I don't think we need to spend that money. But that's just my view on it. Also, if we sign Wirtz, what would that mean for Dom and Harvey? For me, if we're to get into a conversation around signing Wirtz, it would probably be because Szoboszlai hasn't worked out. Because I can't imagine a world where Dom's tearing it up or doing really well and we still feel that need to go out there and spend the amount of money that's been reported today. So just to confirm again, Paisley Gates have reported via Deutsche Welle, I don't know who they are, to say Liverpool are prepared to sign Florian Wirtz and Bayer Leverkusen value him between 130 and 150 million euro, hence the 120 million pound title of the poll. And it's so close, 1% divide, well, 2%, but 49% and 51% in the vote so far. Would you like us to sign Florian Wirtz for £120 million? This is one of the closest polls we've had. So yeah, that would be my thought process, mate. If we ever look to actually go for him, it would probably be because somebody hasn't fulfilled their hope or potential. Diaz left wing, Wirtz 10, Dom right wing would be sexy. I don't like the idea of Dom on the right, if I'm being honest. I want my wingers to have a bit more pace. Now, I'm not saying Dominic Szoboszlai is a slouch, but he doesn't really have the ability to take on a man like a Luis Diaz would, as an example. So, but look, I'm not displeased if I wake up one day and hear Liverpool have signed Florian Wirtz. Like, I'm not going to be annoyed about it, but I just think right now we have higher priorities that we need to spend money on. No, Liverpool should not sign Florian Wirtz for £120 million by 51% to 49%. So it was an incredibly close vote, but you know, whether it's because we don't need him, whether it's because of the amount of money, a very, very minuscule portion of our fans prefer the idea of us not spending that money for him, overspending it. So it was a close one, one of the closest ones I think we've ever had. So Bonkers said, according to a high-level source, Arsenal sporting director Edu held a meeting with Bayer Leverkusen officials regarding signing Florian Wirtz. Arsenal willing to pay 150 million and 70 million upfront, 70% upfront if allowed. Yeah, look, Arsenal, normally I'd say you won't go to Arsenal, but Arsenal have made some big signings in recent years. You know, they've signed Declan Rice on a huge fee. I would still argue Arsenal probably need an actual centre forward ahead of Florian Wirtz, but I could see them being in the race and legitimately in the race.